Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about relaxing to lose weight. You've got to relax to lose weight, in my opinion. Now, it's important to understand the relaxation's not going to make you lose weight directly. It's not like you can eat the same and then just relax and then you start losing weight. Okay. It's that you become relaxed and you tend to make better food choices. Okay. And it's just easier to make the right food choices as well. And so that's what helps you to lose weight. But if you look at how most people start their weight loss journey, it's the opposite of relaxation. Most people start their weight loss journey completely depleted to begin with, right? Most people are kind of up to here just with life, right? 2025 in America, you're up to here, right? And so you're already depleted energetically, emotionally, mentally. And then when you start your diet, you're taking on this whole giant thing on top of it. So you're already depleted and now you're overwhelmed on top of it. Right. It's like kind of being, drowning in the water and someone throws you an anchor, it ain't helpful. And so if you really think about this and if you can really internalize this, I think this is so crucial and so important that if you realize every time you've tried to lose weight, you're going into it completely depleted and overwhelmed and stressed, the opposite of relaxed. And anytime that you get stressed or anxious or tense, you're probably going to find that you get hungrier, right? Hunger is not just a physiological thing, it's obviously psychological and emotional too. And so when you're really stressed, you tend to start getting hungrier, you start craving unhealthier foods, and you have less ability to stop yourself. So to me, when I think about relaxation with weight loss, it kind of reminds me, the Abe Lincoln quote that if I got 6 hours to chop a tree down, I'm going to spend 4 hours sharpening the blade. And so in that way, when you focus on relaxation, it's one of these things that if you focus on it, it has these exponential beneficial effects on you that are beyond just what you would think they would be. Right. Because it affects everything. It affects your thinking, your energy levels, your moods, your hunger, your cravings. All of these different things are affected the more relaxed you are. Now, you may consider yourself a person who can't relax, but I want you to know that relaxation is a skill and it's something that you can develop, you can work at, you can get better at. And to me, your relaxation is the absolute foundation that you're going to build all your success on. Without that relaxation, you're always going to struggle because if you can't relax intentionally, if you're not more calm, grounded, centered, relaxed, what happens is you're just kind of at the mercy of life, right? And life's always throwing things at you. So, you have a tough day, all of a sudden you're totally off track. And so you need to have some ability to kind of ground yourself, center yourself, calm yourself down. And on top of that, to deepen the relaxation in the first place, so you get kind of a buffer for life. That's what relaxation does for you. It helps you have this buffer so that you can see the world, think about things from this calm centered perspective. Because when you do that, without anything else changing, just that alone, if I can relax you and ground you and center you and calm you down, chances are that you're going to start making better food choices moving forward, just naturally, automatically. And so again, it becomes so powerful. And the flip side goes the other way, right? The more stressed you are, the less likely you are to do those things. So it's just so impactful and so important that you really are rewarded if you focus on relaxing more. And I think a lot of people just overlook it. Oh, give a shit about relaxation. I'm just going to do my Atkins diet. I'm going to do my keto, No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you can only do things depending on how much energy you have, how much focus you have, how much clarity you have. And the more stressed and tense you are, the less relaxed you are, the less of those things you have. And so everything is just a struggle. So again, the secret, in my opinion, to really getting yourself on the right path weight-wise is to start dedicating yourself to relaxing more, to cultivating a deeper sense of relaxation in you and a deeper ability to relax when you're in stressful, trying times as well. And if you can do that, I almost guarantee you that is going to support your weight loss because again, you just think more clearly, you see things more accurately, and everything's just a bit easier when you are more relaxed, calm, and grounded. And so if you want to practice that, if you do struggle with relaxation, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin. or if you're on Facebook over here or YouTube, I'll put the link in right now. You can get this, but this is a free hypnosis session. It is called The New Thin Me, and it will help you A, relax, and B, get fired up and motivated to start losing weight. Again, if you've never practiced or tried hypnosis, you kind of owe it to yourself, right? I mean, if you're even remotely serious about weight loss, you really ought to explore hypnosis. I mean, most of the time, it's not some magical fix, unfortunately, but it is absolutely, part of a holistic, comprehensive approach to mastering your weight. So there's no question that hypnosis absolutely is supportive and helpful. Again, I don't know if it's magic, but it's absolutely beneficial. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. What's up, Bookworm? How's it going? If you have any weight loss questions, feel free to ask them. Mindset or anything, really. I deal with any weight loss. What's up, Judy? How's it going? Any weight loss questions are welcome, because at the end of the day, if you can think different, you can change your weight. That's what I believe. But I think it's definitely an issue. If we don't change our mindsets, weight loss is so difficult. So anyways, I hope everyone's having a good time. I can't believe I was thinking to myself, I'm like, geez, Thanksgiving's next week. This is true, right? Yes, next Thursday. Holy macaroni. So yeah, that's exciting. But I hope people are ready for it. Again, I was saying this yesterday, but I think the key thing is to not it's so important, I believe, to be all or nothing with your weight loss, right? So I think a lot of times, obviously with dieting, everyone's all or nothing, and being all or nothing during the holidays is a kiss of death, because what are you going to do? Take off for 6 weeks, right? And then the funniest part is that people just like completely like ignore their eating and all that stuff for the holidays, and then expect that because it's January 1st, January 1st, like all of a sudden just get right back on track. That's like saying like, you like, it doesn't matter. It's anything, right? You work out every day and you're going to take 6 weeks off and then come back the next, that Monday and just pick up right where you left off. It's like, what? How does that work? It doesn't. It doesn't work that way. So again, you're much better off. Again, you're probably going to eat more, or, drink more, whatever you end up doing during the holidays. But it doesn't have to be a complete and total, elimination of all the good stuff you're doing, or an absence of good things that you might want to do. You can eat more than you normally do during the holidays and still drink your water, get some sleep, practice your meditation, relax more, whatever. What's up, Ananya? Hello from Bangladesh. Hello. Michelle, how's it going? What's up, Jen? Jen, I got your email. I'm going to write to you today. The only reason I was hesitating, Jen, too, I want you to know this, is that I knew I was going to do, for people that are in Program Yourself, then that have finished the program that want to continue, there's the Thrive program. And this is a program I have not really promoted at all. But it's going. So that's the funny thing. It's an awesome program. So if you're in Program Yourself then and you like it, and you want to continue receiving daily hypnosis sessions and weekly, the weekly lesson with the hypnosis session, and we do special trainings as well. So there's a lot in the program. It's really good. But I haven't really been promoting that. So if you've been in the program and you finished and you want to continue in this world, this is available to you. And there will be a really, really good Black Friday deal that I'll put out there. And I'll put it out in the next couple days as well. So it won't just be like a Black Friday thing, but it'll give any of you that wanted either continue with the Program Yourself Then Thrive program or get into it. If you've already gone through the PYT program, that'll be available to you. So anyways, I have that for you, Jen. I have not forgotten about it. I just had to, I didn't want to send you the old pricing page. And so I had to set it up. So anyways, I got you. And so that'll be coming another day or two. I will have that out to you. I'm doing so many. I got to tell you, I am like, I got like 50 different things going on at a time right now. So it's like, I am just trying to close some loops here, and it's kind of funny. So I'm trying to get this book finished and so close, but it's the final part. The final part is my weakness too. I will tell you, I have had challenges with procrastination in the past. My particular procrastination, I have a couple different flavors, but one of them is just getting to the very, very end of something. So it's like this book, I got the cover made, but it's not, I haven't got the finals yet, but it's all made. It's just, it's up to them to get that done. And then the book's getting designed, and I have to get the last final part finished before I do that. Uh, but it's such a difference between 98 and 100%. Anyways, who cares? Bookworm says, Jim, will you still do chat sessions during the Christmas holidays? Yeah, I usually do these just all year round. I mean, I take a little time here and there off, but I love doing these. These are very just enjoyable format, like kind of connecting with you all, especially during holidays and stuff. We'll be talking about some things. That being said, I mean, I might miss a day or two here or there, who knows? I just never know what my mood's going to be, especially that week. I always say this, that to me, the week between Christmas and New Year's is kind of like a really magical week, in my opinion, because it's kind of like this little, like, what they call them, liminal spaces. It's like, it just, I love it because Christmas is over, and whatever, but it's not the new year yet. So it's kind of like this weird little wormhole in our minds, and I love it. So, yeah, again, in the programs, if you're in my programs, we treat that very intentionally, by reflecting on the year and, reflecting on, what we said we wanted to do, what we actually did, what worked, what didn't work. That's really a key piece of moving forward. So we'll do a lot of that right during that week. And then when the new year starts, we want to kickstart ourselves, obviously forward, in a beneficial way. And I'll be helping with that too, because I will have my new book will be ready January 1st to January 5th. The book will be free. The digital version will be sent out. Well, not sent out, but you'll be able to get it for free. I'll be talking about that, promoting that. So again, make sure you're on my email list before that, because I'll be sending that out. Make sure you don't miss that or forget it. If you care about your weight at all, I think this is a book you definitely want to have and read. I think it's really good. I think it's going to support certainly anyone who's in the program. I think it's just another way to get supported in it. And if you're not in the program, I think it's a great way to kind of learn a lot of the key ideas. So, but yeah, I will be here. I don't know how much I'll be. I may miss a day or two. We'll see how it goes. I'm very kind of played as it lies during that week, I will say. I can't imagine, geez, 6 weeks away. 6 weeks is going to be so different. I got so many projects that are kind of wrapping all up right now. So it's so funny to think 6 weeks from now, it's going to feel so fundamentally different from where we're at now. But yeah, but anyways, yeah, if you have any questions on weight, feel free to ask them. Anything you're struggling with, any suggestions you want. I know the holidays are coming up. I know some people get a little weird with the holidays coming up. How you're going to deal with it? Let's talk about it if you'd like to, because again, the holidays do not need to derail you in any way. They can, you can get a hair off track. No problem with that. But I think how you manage holidays is just so important as well. Jody says, can we order the printed version January 1st? Yes, absolutely. You'll be able to order the printed version as well. Although I will say that, I'm not sure actually. The digital version you'll get for free. I'm not sure exactly how the printed version is going to work price-wise. So I'll keep you all up to date. Again, this book, this book for me is really just a book to get the word out. So again, the pricing on it is going to be very, well, shit, it's gonna be free for a week. And then there will be a price, but I'll keep you all up to date on that stuff. Ananya says, I have tried every diet like intermittent fasting, OMAD, keto, gym. I did lose weight, but I wasn't mentally happy. Now I'm following 3 meals a day with 1,400 calories and 10,000 steps. It works. Also, I'm mentally happy. All right. Well, there we go. And that to me basically sums everything I'm talking about into a nutshell, is that it's not, you can't just measure your weight loss success only by how much weight you lose. And I know that may sound strange, but you really can't. You've got to become more, I guess I'd use the word enlightened. I think that you need to become more enlightened, meaning that you have to obviously change what you're doing to lose weight, right? You got to change your eating and your lifestyle to some degree to lose weight. But simultaneously, while you're doing that, you've got to take into account how it feels to do those changes. So if you do this, if you start going into whatever strategies you're going to use to lose weight, if while you're doing that, you're also considering how it feels to do it, you're going to be a lot better off, because you might do one meal a day and you might start losing weight, but then you might realize, I don't like this. I don't like living this way. And the second you realize that, start figuring out a better way, because it's a timer on now, right? The second you're like, oh my God, I hate this. The second you think that, it's just a matter of time until you quit. And I know you don't want to believe that, because a dieter, they just won't acknowledge that, right? A dieter, they just assume part of the process is hating what you're doing and just pushing yourself to do it. And part of that for a lot of people is trying to ignore that you hate it so much. I do not recommend that. I recommend that you pay attention to how you feel with whatever it is you're doing to lose weight. And if you hate it, cut the shit, figure out something better, because you're never going to do something you hate long term. You're not going to do things that make you mentally unhappy long term, even if you're losing weight. And I know you think you will, but you just only have to look at your results to realize you will not. That's why you all stop dieting, because you don't like doing it. It's not because of your fucking hormones. I will tell you, yes, your hormones want to keep you at a certain weight. So you put weight on and you lose weight and your body kind of tries to nudge you back up to being overweight. That is absolutely true. However, that's a distant place to number one reason people put the weight back on, is because they don't want to keep eating that way. They don't like it. It doesn't work for them. They're unhappy. That's the number one reason people put the weight back on. So I appreciate you saying that, Ananya, and I think that that's really important that you recognize that. So follow the path of mental happiness, and you'll be in a much better spot. So it sounds like you're on a real good path there. So that's great. Yep. Jody says, really enjoyed the class yesterday. We listened to it this morning. Really good. Yes. Again, and Jody is referring to the Thrive class. We do a special class on Mondays, which is really kind of cutting edge, more in-depth trainings, for Program Yourself Thin. So we're just deep diving into it every week. And yesterday we talked about hypnotic dopamine manipulation. Right? Imagine getting your hands on that knowledge. So no, it's really good stuff, right? Because the more you understand about how your brain works, the more strategic you can be. The more you understand yourself, the more you can strategize to get the results you want. I hope that makes sense. And I know a lot of dieting, that sounds crazy, because who gives a shit, right? You're just going to tell me what to do. But yeah, the more you understand yourself, the easier it is, I believe, to get yourself on the right path that works for you and get you the results you want. Yeah. But that was a good class. And I got it up right away. I was having issues with the Circle app, but I figured out how to fix some of it. Well, I fixed all of it. Well, I fixed some of it and I moved some of it out of Circle. So, but regardless, the end result is that everything is working now. Everything is flowing along. Although, yeah, I did see that the new recent technical thing is, I don't know if you all know Cloudflare. It is a kind of behind the scenes technology, and they had a big outage. So that has made the internet be a little wonky. So if your internet is being wonky, web pages are acting weird, there's a good chance that it's because of Cloudflare. So that's it's a little, if you're struggling with that stuff today, that could be the reason why. But yeah, if anyone's got questions, feel free to ask them. If not, forever hold your peace, and I will skedoodle, because I've been here a little bit, but I run late. Some other working's been working on. It's been a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I've enjoyed myself the last, I would say, 3 months now, but it's been kind of a sprint is how I would describe it feeling. And I'm kind of looking forward for the next week or two here. There's some loops closing up, and it's going to free up some mental capacity and some time and some energy. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. And actually, it's perfect timing, because again, in Program Yourself Thin's world, December really is kind of a time to chill. I know that sounds crazy, right? Because us in our modern world, we've kind of overlaid this really stressful, the most stressful time of the year over the time of year when it's like nature's telling you to calm down. It's you know what I mean? December is the darkest, month of the year. It's really nature's telling kind of take it easy. Okay, time to rest. And I think it's funny how in our modern world, we've overlaid the month that we're supposed to rest the most with the month that we're the most stressed and doing the most stuff. So I really do aim to, buck that trend and relax and center and calm myself and rest. during December. That's the big focus for December. And the Thrive program and the club is that it's rest time. And I know it's not easy for everyone. It's not possible for everyone. I get it, but everything's relative. And if you make resting a focus for you, you can rest more no matter what month it is, no matter what the situation is. So I hope you all use it for that as well. What's up, Deanna? Deanna's back in the Thrive program. One of the most important things I learned is focusing on loving the lifestyle instead of just the weight loss. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Deanna's killing it. I was happy to see your update, Deanna, because Deanna's again been with the program for a while here. And it's so exciting. I know you're all, I'm not going to like this, but I'm going to tell you because this is real stuff. I'm not here to bullshit you all. And you got enough bullshit with weight loss. You're always getting bullshit. God almighty. So I try to hit you with some truth. And Deanna's a good example of this, is that sometimes the weight doesn't come off as quickly as you want. I get it. But the more important thing is loving the lifestyle, because what that does is that gets you through the times when you're not losing weight. So I think that's really important, because sometimes you're not going to lose weight, but if you like how you're living, you like how you're eating, you appreciate the other benefits you get out of it, what happens is you stick with it. Because even if the weight loss isn't happening, you appreciate the extra energy, the more calm, grounded focus, all the different things that kind of go along with it. And they help you get through the challenging times of life. And then when things kind of ease up a little bit, then the weight loss kind of starts again, until you ultimately get to where you want to be. But ultimately, the goal is not to lose weight, it's to live at your goal weight. And the truth is that as you get closer and closer to that goal weight, a lot of times you do hit longer and longer plateaus as you get to that final weight you want to be at. And I think that, anyways, Deanna, you're a real proof of that process. I'm proud of you for how you've done it and for how long you've done it too, by the way. So again, I know you're looking at the weight loss piece of it, but I look more at the amount of time you've been doing this piece of it. And so that's kind of how I measure success a lot of times with people, is how are you able to handle the length of how long you've been doing it? How can you stick with it? So great job. Ananya says, I've never thought that weight loss and emotion, subconscious mind are connected. Your spiritual talks on weight loss really helped me a lot. I'm really grateful to you, sir. Oh, you're welcome. Well, again, that is what I'm here for. This really is a mission in life for me. And yeah, it's, I always say, for me, weight loss, my passion about this really started with my father passed away at 54 of a heart attack. And it was absolutely weight related. And so for me, weight is so much more than just how you look. It really is life and death. And so that's why it's so much more important to me than just you looking good in your shit. I want you to look good too, but I want you to live longer is more important to me. I want you to have the best quality of life you can possibly have. And so that's why I am on here every single day talking about this stuff, because it literally is a mission. I want to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight. And it makes me happy to hear that it's helping. And so keep it up, Ananya. I'm proud of you. Stone July says, sorry, how am I getting the new book? I believe in you. Well, thank you. The new book, yes, you'll be getting the new book January 1st. I'll be giving it away for free for the first 5 days of the new year. I'll be giving you my new book for free on Kindle. So again, make sure that you get on my email list so they don't miss it or forget about it. Things get weird at the beginning of the year. So if you're on my email list, I'll absolutely be letting you know about it. Okay. But yeah, the book's free. The Tao of living at your goal. I can talk about it now. Yes. Even though now I realized I've told this story now, but I realized I like the name of the book. It's fine. But I realized that I probably picked the wrong name of the book in one sense, because my mom goes, what's the name of your book? And before I could even answer, I was just like, oh, why did I name it this? Why did I name it this? Because she never heard the word. It's Tao, like it's Tao is how it's spelt, pronounced Tao. Taoism, it's a philosophy fundamental to program yourself thin, in a roundabout way. We don't talk about it a lot directly. But anyways, the idea for the book was to put together a Taoist inspired book. And what that means is that it is written in kind of like poetic form, but it's really hypnosis. I'm a hypnotist. I'm not a poet. I'm not an author. I guess technically I will be, but I'm a hypnotist. And so this is kind of written in hypnotic ways. So it's very easy to read is the goal. And that it's meant to change you while you read it. That's the goal here. And it does use some of kind of the Taoist approach of kind of flowing with things rather than fighting against things. So with dieting's always about kind of fighting against the food, against yourself, against your cravings, against your hunger. With dieting, you're always fighting. And with Taoism, it's more about a more flowy way of working with things to get the results you want. And as I always say, that it really is fundamental to the whole approach and program. But it's explicit in this book. And I love it. I've read this book 5 million times. I think it's great. I think you're going to like it. And I'm going to give it to you for free the first 5 days of the year. So again, if you click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin and go get the free hypnosis session, you'll be on my email list and I will let you know when this book is for free. So that's that. And I saw someone said something over here. Michael Keaton. Yeah, I look like Michael Keaton. I might look like Michael Keaton now a little bit, I guess, right? Too hard, I guess. That'd be great. I take that as a compliment. I love Michael Keaton. He's one of my favorites. I am such a big Michael Keaton fan. Demi says, I keep losing motivation to lose weight like every second day. Well, okay, though, but right, this is a common thing people say. My motivation keeps going away. But you have to understand there's two sides to that equation. Okay. So there's one side, there's the motivation we need. But what a lot of people do is they just think about the motivation they need. But what they're not taking into account is that motivation you need is relative to what you're trying to do. Okay. So if you are, let's compare like a keto or carnivore plan, or take any of them really, but let's do like a keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting plan. Let's compare that to Program Yourself Thin, just as an example to make this point. So how much motivation do you need? Well, if you're going to do keto or Atkins or intermittent fasting, that's really hard to just start doing. And it's hard to continue, by the way, too. So it's going to take a lot more motivation to get yourself to do something that's really hard to do. Okay. Program Yourself Thin, it's going to take a lot less motivation because what are you going to do? You got to wake up tomorrow and listen to a 5-minute hypnosis session that's sent to you. So you got to push play. Now, that's not as easy as it sounds either. Let it be known, but it's way easier than completely changing all of your reading starting tomorrow, right? So you don't need as much motivation to do that. And so I think there's a lot of wisdom in that idea, because I think what most people are doing is they just presuppose, well, they've got to have a ton of motivation, because the part that they never really reflect on is that what they plan on doing to lose weight is really intense and hard. And so as a dieter, you have been brainwashed to think that the only way you can lose weight is to do this really overwhelming, intense, extreme thing. And so you just leave that alone, and that's an assumption. And you just say, well, I'm going to need a ton of motivation to do that. But you have to recognize that, no, you can break that down. You don't have to start out changing everything all at once. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't, because it has really bad results typically. So what's going to serve you better off, when you start off, is you can start slower. You don't have a lot of motivation. Okay, we're not going to change everything. Let's just eat an apple today. Don't have a lot of motivation. Okay, let's just go to bed a little earlier today. Don't have a lot of motivation. Let's drink a little more water. Let's have a salad at dinner, with dinner, whatever. So again, when you start realizing, and this is the difference between being all or nothing of a dieter, or either being perfect or you're doing nothing, to being all or something, with Program Yourself Thin, because it gives us so much more flexibility. So if our motivation is low, by the way, your motivation does change. Some days you're more motivated than others. So that's absolutely never going to change. You're always going to have ups and downs with your motivation. That you can't just become a person who's just always motivated up here. No way. So we need to have some flexibility with our strategy. And so that's been one of the biggest things that I've discovered for myself, is that my motivation's always flickering up and down, but I have alternatives. So if I'm really fired up and motivated, I can do the plan A. If I'm kind of feeling a little off, I can do plan B. If I'm exhausted, I can do plan C. And if I'm absolutely knackered, I don't do anything, I got plan D. So no matter what mood or motivation level I'm at, I got something I can do to kind of meet the moment. So hope that helps you out, because what that approach does, what you lose in intensity, you gain in consistency. And I will let you know that being consistent with any of this stuff is the most valuable thing you can do. It is transformative. It literally is like alchemy, that the more you're consistent with what you're doing, and it almost doesn't matter what it is. That's why I'm, oh, you start eating an apple every day, you start drinking some more water, you start going to sleep. Now, is that alone going to transform you into a thin, healthy person? No, but it is so much more benefit beyond just the benefit you get from that thing. So you start going to bed earlier. It's not just that you have a little more energy when you wake up. It's also that you prove to yourself, I can change some of my behavior. Change doesn't have to be that hard. I can do this a little bit at a time. I can meet myself where I'm at, and you get the benefits of the thing you're doing. And I think that's a very important point. Aloha Stacy says, thoughts on low carb? I think low carb is the goofiest shit on the planet. I think the healthiest societies in the world are high carb diets. And I don't think there's much debate about this. I know this may sound strange hearing this, but just look at the Blue Zones, for example, but you can just use your own common sense anyways. But Blue Zones were a book they wrote 20 years ago. They went and found the places on earth that had the highest number of people living up to 100 years old, right? They use that as a metric to say, okay, who are the healthiest societies? And so, yeah, the places that have the people getting to 100, these aren't people at 100 in hospitals. These are people at 100 living high quality lives. Hey, what are you doing? Right. And they went all around the world and studied 5 areas at the highest percentage of them. All of them ate high carb, low protein diets. So human bodies on planet Earth have consisted of primarily high carb, low protein diets for all of history, all of human history. And you would have to tell me what modern society thrives off of a high protein, low carb diet. Now, the distinction you have to make in your mind for this to make sense is that the carbs I'm talking about are whole natural carbs and not refined carbs. So yes, in America, where the number one source of calories is baked goods, yeah, you're going to have to work on the refined carbs. But instead of trying to give up all carbs, I would much rather fill my plate up with whole natural fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all carbs that are wonderful for your body. So that's my take on it. That's what I think about it. But I know we live in a reality where you're brainwashed to think about high protein constantly. And I love protein. Please understand. I love protein, but I think protein's overstated in this environment. I think there's a lot of money being made off of protein bars, protein supplements, protein powders, protein bullshit, everything protein. It's the macro of the day right now. And I think it's bullshit. And I think there's no evidence that there are societies thriving off of a high protein diet. And I think it's obvious if you've studied it, what you've heard about the Inuit Eskimo and the African tribe that eats all meat, and they are not healthy by our metrics. So, and the Inuit Eskimos don't even go into ketosis because they got a genetic mutation. So anyways, with that, Loa Stacy says, I'm losing slowly from very low sugar and low white flour. But that's great. I mean, again, my bigger question to you, Aloha, I mean, people can lose weight on any diet, but the big question is, how do you feel about it? So if you want to get rid of all the carbs and live your life in ketosis and you feel amazing doing that and you love it, knock yourself out, but most people I work with, that being keto, being carnivore reduces the quality of life ultimately. Don't tell me it's not. How's it going to, I don't know. Again, each person walks their own path. You have to decide what you want to do, but a life where you can never, have a piece of bread, or you can never have some birthday cake, or you can never celebrate a meal with some pasta. That's not a life I want to live, but everyone gets to make their own decision. So, one ASG says, 1 year motivated. The past 3 days, I stopped my yoga, my scheduled eating. I already went up 1.5 pounds. Yeah, I get it. Right. We got to stay motivated, but these moments when we kind of let things go, we want to pay attention to what happens and use that as, more wisdom and motivation to keep moving forward. So great job being motivated for a year, 1ASG, because I think you're not only motivated, but here's what I would suggest to you too. I stopped my yoga. When I hear that, and this comes direct experience, I'm a yoga instructor. Okay. So I did a lot of yoga. But back in the day, I used to do a yoga every single night. I do it for at least an hour, and life happens. I got kids, work, all the rest of it. I don't want to do yoga for an hour every night is how I've been for a long time now. But the biggest miracle for me is I didn't just stop doing yoga. I took my hour yoga routine and knocked it down into, I have a half-hour routine as well, a 15-minute routine, and a 2-minute routine. And for the last 10 years, 90% of the time, I've probably done the 2-minute routine. Now, that 2-minute routine tends to turn into 5 minutes routine. So that's been the majority of the routine I've done. Do I feel as good as I did when I did an hour? No. Do I feel a million times better than if I hadn't done any yoga at all, or I'd done, I'd gone to 3 classes a year for the last 10 years? I feel a million times better because every single night I am doing some yoga. Every single night I'm checking in with my body. I'm relaxing. I'm stretching. I'm breathing, and I'm going to bed prepared to sleep deeper. So, and I got the consistency. I still think of myself as a yoga person. I've still maintained all my flexibility pretty much. So again, what I would suggest to you, to 1ASG, great job on the 1 year, but now your lesson is to start to give yourself more flexibility with what you're doing. Don't be so rigid. Life can't be rigid, folks. Diets are rigid. This is why people stop them. Life's not rigid. Life's constantly moving all over the place. So you need to have the ability to kind of meet it where it's at. And I think becoming more flexible is one of the key ways to do it. What's up, Sherry? Sherry says, I think that was the biggest factor in helping me to move forward, that I didn't have to change everything all at once. I was much happier and success came more easily. Yeah, exactly. And Sherry's a superstar in the program, making all sorts of changes. And that's the big one. It really is, comes back to my favorite quote of all time, that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. If you can kind of reorient yourself to thinking about, where will I be next year at this time? I think it sets you up to be able to walk this path much more realistically, and I think dieting has really done us all a disservice. Dieting's bullshit anyways, folks. Dieting is not there to help you. Dieting is just a branch of the food industry to condition you to screw up, not know how to lose weight. All the big diets are owned by big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company that owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company that owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. These companies don't want you to eat less of their food. And so they don't teach you anything that's genuinely valuable and helpful long-term. They just put a bunch of dumb shit in your head about how to lose weight. It doesn't work, and you get frustrated and you blame yourself, unfortunately. Okay. So stop doing that. The reason you're not losing weight is not because you don't know what to do or can't get yourself to do it. It's that you have not learned how to run your mind, and your mindset is not conducive to living at your goal weight. So once you change that, you're on a whole different path. Picture is frozen. Oh, am I frozen on TikTok? Aloha, Stacy. This is pre-recorded. Oh, Stacy, I just responded to you. How could it be pre-recorded? It is not pre-recorded though. TikTok. It is weird. Sometimes things freeze up though. But no, not pre-recorded. I would never pre-record one of these. That would be weird, right? Because people would be asking questions and I wouldn't answer them. Sometimes I do get, yap attack takes over and I start talking too long and you asked a question, I'm going to answer it, but I always get to them. I try to anyways. TikTok, I do lose the question sometimes, but no, it is not, but that's too bad because I answered your question too. Might have found it helpful. So anyways, not pre-recorded. All right. Well, there we go though. Anyways, we'll wrap it up anyhow. So, yes, if you're not in my world, please click the link in my bio, go get the free hypnosis session I give you, watch the training I made you, get in my world. I got a bunch of cool stuff coming. The least of which is what the hell? Anyways, I will be giving you my book for free too. In January 1st to the 5th, it'll be free. So go sign up for that hypnosis session. I'll be reminding you of that. Make sure you get it. You're going to want this book. This is a book you'd want to pay for. I will not be surprised if a bunch of you get the book for free and then go and order the physical book. I'm a physical book person. And even the physical book, I'm going to make that price cheap as well anyways. But the digital version will be 100% free. And the physical version will be inexpensive. Let's put it that way. So, all right, everyone. Oh, and then I'm here every Monday through Friday. If you ever have any questions you want to ask, feel free to ask them. Anything weight related, I'm happy to help you out. Again, this is my mission. I'm here every day, usually around noon Eastern, right around there. And if you can't listen to this and you like listening to it, you can go to any podcast platform, search Program Yourself Thin, and it'll show up. You can listen whenever you like. So, all right, everyone, have a super day and we'll talk soon. Bye.